So, speaking about safety, I
Mhm.
think we all know safety is one of the main thing when it comes to car accidents, road accidents.
Yeah.
Safety, risk and safety precaution. It's one of the many things that people talk about on a daily basis because those are the things that actually causes all the unnecessary accidents and misfortune in life. Talking about aviation safety,
Oh yeah.
what are the things that pilots hate that what are the things that passengers do that pilots hate about, or what are the things that pilots hope passengers knew before boarding the plane?
Don't stand up. Don't stand up. The thing is that, right? I really don't understand why you need to stand up before the door is opened or as soon as the aircraft comes to a stop. Everybody stands up.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I
We're
really
very
don't.
kanchiong, you know.
Yeah, I understand you're kanchiong. You want to get out of the aircraft as soon as possible, but you're not gonna get out of the aircraft any sooner. It's one door in the front. Don't stand up. And then after that, the thing is that I really feel for the cabin crew because okay, my mom is a cabin crew as well. So I really feel for the cabin crew. They have to ask people to sit down all the time. Even on one of my own flights, actually, I've experienced somebody standing up before the plane was about to touch down.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to land, and then some passengers stood up because of some innate reason. I forgot what reason it was, but it was a very unimportant, very small reason. I could hear the cabin crew screaming. Screaming. I was like, what is going on? Then after that, but we landed the aircraft anyway because, we're not supposed to focus on that. But I could hear them screaming in the background because the passengers stood up right before landing. That's actually very unsafe. Please don't do that. Because, if you get injured, it's our problem. It really is our problem. Don't. I hear a lot of the thing about that is that passengers they like to think that so what so what it's like it's my choice. What if I don't want to put on my seatbelt? What if I don't want to secure my infant with the infant seatbelt? It's my choice. And after that, if anything happens to me, it's on me. No, it's not on just you. It actually we are responsible for your safety on board. The cabin crew, the pilots, we're responsible for your safety. If anything happens to you, we're gonna be liable for it. And you can say that you won't sue us, but what if you do? And then we're gonna be stuck as well. So we have to remind you and we have to tell you to do these things because it's for your own safety. Yeah, it's for your own safety. It really is. We're concerned about your safety and we're concerned about our safety as well when it comes to our jobs and everything. So please don't stand up before everything is done. When people put on the fasten seatbelt sign, it's not for decoration. Please fasten your seatbelts. And when it's turbulent, especially when people ask you to sit down, please sit down. I know that you maybe want to go to the bathroom, but we put the seatbelt sign on for a reason. There's a reason why we do that. So if anything happens, we want to protect you.
And the thing is, a lot of people take the seatbelt sign on for granted because it's like most of the time on. So people are like, are you sure we really have to put it on? So I think a lot of us, I mean, as a passenger ourselves, I think a lot of us take it for granted. Like, sometimes a little bit extra, it's safe, why you still need to wear? So yeah, I think that is from a passenger point of view. But yeah, okay, I think given all the recent cases that has been happening, yeah, it definitely freaked us out. And I think, yeah.
I think you're not wrong in the sense that we put the seatbelt sign on as a precaution, I would say. Obviously, it's not going to be slamming up and down all the time, or it's just going to be really little, maybe. But the thing is that it only takes one time. It only takes one time for something to happen, and then after that, you could die. It happens with everything in life. Of course, we do everything with a measured amount of risk. This is like going around with the seatbelt sign on during turbulent or like bumpy weather is a risk. I mean, the cabin crew do it; they walk around and all that, but it's an informed risk. And if we hit clear air turbulence or sudden air pockets or wake turbulence or another aircraft passing overhead us, for example, the aircraft will shift like that, and you can never really prepare. You can never really see it, but it will move. And then after that, if you're caught out, if you're unlucky, then that's it. You could have a really bad injury or you could die if it's really bad. So why take the risk if you didn't have to do it? Yeah, why take the risk? Of course, but obviously it's up to you. But if something happens, it only takes one time.
You were saying, I thought usually, I'm not a professional, but usually y'all will have the monitor where y'all can see whether or not there's like a dot, whether or not there's a nearby plane next to you, right?
Yeah,
you'll be able to notice
Yeah,
that,
we'll be
right?
able to notice that. Yeah.
So what are So were you saying about like what if like a plane actually just flies over you, above you or below you? So you are aware of that.
Yeah, we
So
are
given
aware
the
of
fact
it.
that you're aware of that, and given the fact that you know that there will be a pressure that will actually imbalance your plane, so that is where such a thing it's already known lah. So that's why you all put on the seatbelt sign on.
Usually we put the seatbelt signs on because of weather,
Uh-huh.
or actually in our flight plans we have something called an EDR, or an eddy dissipation rate.
Mm.
Basically, that just tells you how strong the turbulence is gonna be at that particular point.
Okay.
So it could be there, it could not be there, but it's a
Mhm.
prediction.
Mhm.
So we put it on just in case.
Mm.
Just in case.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty much follow the signs that are being displayed in the plane. Whenever it's a seatbelt sign is on, put it on.
Yeah.
And whenever the stewardess and stewardess sit, just sit.
Yeah.
Don't
just
try to
sit.
be smart.
Yeah. If the cabin crew, okay, look, if the cabin crew are moving around, then generally what we do in the front, we usually tell them, oh, you are free to move around, but be careful.
Mm.
If we ask them to sit down, then sit down. Everybody sit down. Don't be like, oh, stand up or something.
Mm.
If we ask them to sit down, means that we're expecting something really heavy. Yeah. Because we will make an announcement on the PA,
Yeah.
cabin crew be seated due to turbulence.
Yeah.
Or cabin crew be seated, something like that.
Mhm.
Then after that, that means we expect something
Mm.
big, or actually like a really big patch of weather
Mhm.
or something. Yeah.
So the main thing is about sitting down and putting the seatbelt on,
Yes.
and don't try to act smart, and don't try to think you can outdo the nature.
Yeah, because you never really know when it will hit you. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be severe suddenly. You know,
Mhm.
even we in front, we never know.
Mhm.
We can only try our best to avoid anything that may happen. But after all, this is nature,
Mhm.
and nothing can fight Mother Nature, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking about my question was, yeah, sometimes when we walk the plane, what move on, talk about the part where what are the things that actually stop us from landing, and once we have land we still have to sit in the plane for like 1 hour or half an hour. What is the story behind of it?
There's a lot of things that could happen at
Yeah.
this particular time. Okay, to stop you from landing,
Yeah.
it could be any number of things. Traffic,
What traffic?
and not the car traffic, but like sometimes there's too many planes for the airport to handle at one time, so they have to sequence your landings.
Mm.
They have to give you space. So after that, to not make it too complicated, so just like when you drive a car, you have separation between the other car. You don't drive like this, right? So you drive with a respectable
Yeah.
distance.
Mhm.
So in case anything happens, you can stop.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to have a set amount of distance between aircraft to make it safe and to also make it efficient. So this one varies between airports and countries. They have their own policies on how far you need to be separated, how near can you be.
I see.
Yeah, that one depends really heavily on the airport itself, and also the country's regulations. Yeah. So
So as a pilot, like for example, like because you only know your schedule like a month before, right?
yeah,
So,
about there.
so like for example, in July, you know that you're gonna fly to India. So do you all do the government check about how much of the distance you need to remain beforehand, or before landing? You
Usually-
actually call the cockpit. You have to call the what do you call it? The person, the satellite room.
Oh, the ATC.
The ATC.
Air traffic
So
control.
y'all usually y'all will talk to them right
Oh,
before.
actually, this is not our job per se. It's good to know how much separation we should have, but after that, this separation is usually the job of the air traffic control. They will be the ones separating us.
I see.
They will ask us to speed up, slow down, or hold,
I
depending on what they
see.
need at that moment. So we just follow their instructions.
So from the ATC side, they can actually see which plane is actually approaching their airport,
Yes,
and then that is where the connections will happen, and then that's where you get in touch with them, and then they'll just tell you slow down, speed up, you are free to land, this kind of thing.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
I
So
see.
the air traffic control is the one that controls you. That's why they call air traffic control, because they control you and you just follow their instructions.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's what it is. We don't decide how much separation there should be.
Uh-huh.
They should know. They know better than us actually. So they need to decide. They need to sequence us. They need to ask us to do some things.
Mm.
So that they can achieve their goal of their separation, to achieve safety. I think that was the mean everything, safety.
Is there a linkage between the moment you depart from your departure country to your landing country. Like let's say you depart early from Malaysia and then you're going to Australia. You departed early. Does this early departure affect your landing time? Is there a cycle or both things are actually handled separately? So regardless or not, let's just say, for example, Malaysia Airlines, you're free to land, you're free to departure anytime. Traffic is not so bad. So you like for example, your flight is about 8:30 a.m. But because of the traffic control, you flew at 8 a.m. Right? Given the fact that you flew earlier,
Yeah.
so meaning you landed like half an hour or maybe 45 minutes earlier, will the landing airport tell you, oh, you can land, or you still have to remain and this is the stated time that you'll be landing, so you can only land during that time?
Usually, I think for my operations, there's not much of an issue. But
Mhm.
after that, I cannot say for many of the larger airports in the world because I only fly regionally most of the time.
Mhm.
So after that, regionally, we are rarely ever that early. Half an hour, 45 minutes early. It doesn't,
Okay.
unless we are very early. But after that, I would say that usually departure,
Mhm.
they will have slot times. But after that landing, I don't recall having any slot times in my experience. Yeah.
So pretty much like once you land and then this ATC kind of like, hey, you're arriving, and then you're in the approval list, so it's like, oh, you're free to land kind of thing.
Usually, if you're scheduled to land at the airport, it doesn't matter what time you land actually. Yeah, I don't think they will stop you from landing, but however, departure, yes, if you miss your particular slot time, then they could arrange you for a later slot time. Yes, they could do that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Because this all goes into like airway requirements and all that. I don't wanna go into that. Yeah.
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 And what about whenever your departure, we have to unplug all our USB, and if we're charging our phone, what is that all about?
Fire.
What kind of fire?
You can cause fire,
Uh-huh.
overheating, or devices exploding. They do it as a precaution. Actually, the thing about the
It's
aviation,
the same when you're flying also. If you charge, you might also ignite a fire.
yeah, but after that, they want to how to say, make sure that it doesn't happen on the ground as well. I would say that a lot of these things, right? They are about aviation safety is about a lot about precaution. It's really a lot about precaution. So after that, for example, if they ask you not to change seats, not to simply change seats willy nilly. That is definitely for, they call it weight and balance restrictions. But obviously, to tell you guys the truth, tell you guys the truth, actually, one or two passengers doing that isn't going to change a lot of the weight and balance restrictions. But the problem is that it will cause more problems for the crew and then after that, the management of the flow of service.
I see.
If you randomly change seats and then you don't tell people where you change them, then after that, how are they gonna get your meals to you? Let's say, for example, if you pre-booked the meal or like you order something or you have something like a special dietary requirement, you're urgently sitting in this seat. People come to you with a meal, like, are you so and so? You're like, no. And then after that, where's the other person? I don't know. Then after that, they will have to spend time finding that particular person. And if one person does that, fine. But like, what if 10 people do it? 20 people do it? Then after that, they're just gonna have a headache. Time is limited on flights. We can only be in the air for so long, and the flight is only for so long. So after that, it's like it's also for other purposes other than just weight and balance restrictions. But we tell you weight and balance restrictions because it's easier for you to understand. It's easier for you to understand rather than we all explain the whole thing. Yeah, stuff like that.
Now
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, USB charging and all that for fire actually, for fire, overheat. Yeah.
But what's the difference? Once you stabilize on air, we still charge.
That's why I said a lot of it is precaution, just in case. A lot of aviation is about safety. So of course you can charge your phone in the ground. I don't see a problem with that. But after that, they don't want you to do it because to reduce the risk. Yeah, aviation safety is all about mitigating the risk. Yeah, making the risk as small as possible because flying is already a risk. So you don't want to add more things that make it more dangerous. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Speaking about safety, what are your opinions about the recent cases that has been happening in the world? I think the most recent one is the India crash. I think in Malaysia we had the MH170, MH370, 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 MH17.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And the most recent cases that happened in India, and I'm not so sure about what other cases that happens all around the world. But what are your opinions maybe about the India case that actually happened?
I don't want to speculate because actually we don't know what's going on. I mean, like as a pilot, I get questions.
Mhm.
Like just the other day, just yesterday actually, I was like my uniform was going to work, and then after that, one of the other tenants came out the condo. Then she came to me. Then she asked me,
Mhm.
"Oh, where do you work?" I was like, "I
Mhm.
work at the airport." And I was like, she was like, "What position are you?" And I was like, "I'm a pilot." And she started talking to me about the crash and
Uh-huh.
what happened and everything. And I was like, I tried to tell her that it's actually not as simple. We don't actually know.
Mhm.
But what I can see from the thing is that we watched all the videos and everything. Is that the plane went up, but it couldn't keep going and it sank.
It took them about like 37 seconds, then it shoot away.
Yeah, they just crashed after takeoff, just after takeoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of things could have happened.
Mhm.
A lot. There's so many things that could have happened. Like there's so many possibilities. So we have to wait until the full report comes out.
Mhm.
But I would say that something happened with the aircraft that caused it to not have any more lift, because to fly an aircraft you need lift.
The thing that
Yeah,
the physics thing.
Yeah, the physics thing. Yeah, the physics thing. You need lift.
Yeah.
So, what happened was that there was a loss of lift. So
Okay.
once the aircraft doesn't have enough lift,
Mhm.
it'll just fall like a rock. So that's what happened. Yeah. So it was very unfortunate. Actually, it's a very sad incident. There's about almost 250 people
Yeah.
on the plane, and then after that, more on the ground that was killed.
Yeah, it was a doctor dormitory, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was. So, it was very unfortunate that so many people were killed. I really don't know what happened, but after that, I would say that there might be some things that caused the loss of lift, maybe engine failure. But after that, the 787, the Dreamliner, is a very modern aircraft, and I would
787, it's the model of
yes, the model of the aircraft that crashes is a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, and after that, it's a very modern aircraft, and the chances of having a dual engine failure means one and two both engines failing at the same time is exceedingly rare. It's so low. So after that, but I surmise that maybe that's what have happened.
Mhm.
I don't see any birds. I don't see any birds. There are people talking about flap retraction too early and all that, but I personally can't see that from the video. So I would just say what happened was that the aircraft took off. It did not have enough lift to keep going, so it fell and it crashed.
Was the impact that bad? Because it was just 37 seconds. How high could he actually have flew that the impact was so bad when he crashed?
Okay, so the thing about it is that what I recall is that he flew up to about 190, 200 feet. It's not very high, but it's not very low either. And you have to understand that the aircraft is very heavy.
The inertia, yeah.
The aircraft is very heavy. It's a rock. It's a rock, and then after that, it's a rock full of fuel.
Okay.
So there's a lot of fuel in there. So after that, when you smash something, even though it's just 200 feet, 200 feet is very high. Actually, you look at it, 200 feet is like probably what? Maybe I don't know. 3 feet is a meter. So my math is not
but
working right now.
anyways,
My math's not working right now. But like,
Fine,
but like,
no
but like,
problem.
but like, it's very high. So after that, when you slam down like that, it's gonna have a lot of force. And somewhat the plane is heavy. It's carrying 250 people. It's carrying all the fuel, the luggage, and everything. It's heavy. So yeah. So there was one survivor. I don't know how he did it, but like, wow, he's incredibly lucky. I would say.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Final destination.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
Yeah.
final destination.
I think I read a news about how actually one family he was actually going to like London.
Yeah.
He was supposed to settle down in London,
Yeah.
his whole family, and he got all the paperwork done, and sadly his whole family just vanished just like that. So it was just so sad. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, well, when it comes to aviation accidents, right? I want to reiterate to everyone who's listening to this is that aviation is very safe. We try our best to make it very safe. Everyone on board is trained. Pilots, the cabin crew, we're trained to make sure that you're safe, the aircraft is safe, everybody is safe. But at the same time, we're not miracle workers. We can't make miracles. If
Yes.
something like that happens right after takeoff, there is nothing we can do. Actually, really, nothing. Not a lot we can do. Actually. So, will you die if something like that happens? Yeah, there was a high chance you might die. Yeah. So, but after that, of course, these are very, very rare incidences. The thing is that we hear about it a lot is because a lot of people die during aviation fatalities. So after that, it seems really big. But after that, if you look at how many flights go on every day, it's actually a very small, tiny percentage. Yeah.
You were saying just now, birds. Is bird really a factor that could cause an accident?
Yeah.
How big should the bird be?
Oh.
Or like a normal
It doesn't have to be like a big bird, it doesn't have a small bird. So the flying bird strikes happen a lot. So
Is
it
it?
depends on the bird. Yeah, I've hit a lot of birds.
Depends on the birds.
Yeah, it
really.
depends on the birds. I hit a lot of the birds. They're kind of unfortunate. If they're a small bird, they just kind of leave like a blood smear on the window, and you're like, oh, so sorry.
Is
But
it?
yeah, sometimes they just don't fly away fast enough, and
Uh-huh.
then they just like that, and then they just like, oh, there we go, another dead bird. But there's sometimes they're like really big birds. They
Uh-huh.
can puncture the aircraft.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they can puncture the nose cone,
Uh-huh.
the radome in front. They
Uh,
can
the-
puncture
the-
also.
the sharp thing,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah. They can puncture the flaps. They can giant hole. They can do that. They can really ground an aircraft if they wanted to. Yeah, I remember there was this one case where in Langkawi, I think
Mm.
the landing gear couldn't be retracted because there was an eagle stuck to it. So basically, when it was
Sheesh.
open, then after that, it came in, and then after that, it slammed into an eagle. It was a really big eagle.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What a waste.
When I was in training,
Uh-huh.
a bird got sucked into the engine of one of the aircraft,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, I saw the picture. The bird was in there, and it was still alive, but like
Mhm.
not for very long. So after
Mhm.
they had to like dig it out of the plane punya engine.
I see.
So not pretty, but yeah, birds, especially when there's a lot of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can really
Oh.
Sully was also because of birds.
Suddenly.
Sully, the movie, the guy who landed the airplane in the river in America.
Uh-huh.
The Sully, the miracle on the miracle on the Hudson.
Uh-huh.
That one, yeah, it was because of birds. He hit a really big flock of birds, and both engines flamed up. Yeah,
I see.
and then he had to land in the river.
Mm. Sometimes, right, people tend to actually purposely pay extra to sit at the emergency exit lane. As a pilot, would you actually recommend so? What are the advantages of sitting in the middle of the emergency lane? And is there any, other than preference of comfortability upon exit, is there any, let's say, like the safest place to sit in a flight, front or the back or the middle? Is there any comments about it?
Okay, so people pay extra for the emergency exit row because there's more like room.
More like room, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
it. But you also have the responsibility of being able to open the
Mm.
emergency exit. So that's why there's an emergency exit briefing from the cabin crew
Mhm, yeah.
whenever you sit at the emergency exit row. But other than that, I don't think there's any other benefit than sitting in the emergency exit row because it's not like you can leave the aircraft from the emergency exit, right? As for where to sit in the aircraft, of course, in other airlines they could have like first class, business class, and all that. Then after that's in front, but after that.
Talking about
This-
economy class itself.
Economy class, I would say like a full economy class. Where's the safest place to sit in an aircraft?
None.
I don't really know, because like, okay, I mean statistically they
Uh.
say that it's the best to sit in the back.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the back rows because you don't want to sit on the wings, like near the
Okay.
wings because that's where the fuel is.
Mhm.
If it explodes, you're dead. You sit in front, that's usually where the place that gets the the
Mhm.
front row view, to whatever's happening. But yeah, sit in front, you might get most of the impact, so they would say you sit in the back lah. That's the best. But
I
after that, I
see.
would say, in terms of accident,
Uh.
if the plane is gonna blow up, then after that, your chances are as good as anybody, to be honest.
Mm.
The best chances of survival is to not be on the aircraft. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.